Hey guys, welcome back to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. In this three-part video series, I'm going to show you how I framed my lofted living room floor. This is part 3 of a 3-part video series. If you didn't catch the first 2 parts, the link for those will be in the description below. So I nailed a 2x4, so it was just catching half of this joist so that I would have backing on the inside of the closet. And I've cut all my pieces. I failed to get any marks though. Framing square. Where are you? So I just framed that out. This will give me something to attach some type of doorway to. I mean, can you see that mess over there? See, this was cut short, but this will all end up being trimmed out. And this is at the correct point, and this is at the correct point right here. So if these are inset a little bit, it's not going to be the end of the world. It looks like crap, but it'll work. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting my electrical panel right here, my circuit breaker, my fuse box, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then right inside there will be my water filter. The 2 things that I'll have to get to the most frequent will be right there. So I think this will hold 2 blue bins perfectly. I could put my camping gear here and then the seasonal clothes right here. Take those bins out, move this door, and I can get into the mechanical room. Alright, let's put some more joists in. So right here, this red line represents the top of my joist, which is basically where this is right here. So what I'm going to have to do is cut a ledger board. It's going to get nailed onto the wall, and I'll put an angle on it here. It doesn't need to be one continuous piece here because it's getting nailed into the wall. In this corner is going to be a washer and dryer combo unit. So I'm going to have a double joist right there and there, so that'll carry the weight, and then that ledger will get nailed to that wall. So it'll be structurally sound. I'll just have a break in it. So that I don't back nail the plywood right here, I wrote down no nail, real simple with some lines, so that when I am back nailing I remember that there's a pipe here not to nail it. So I cut this 2x4, cut it on a 45 right here so I can just get one nail into this. It's not going to be really that strong, but better than nothing.
4 by 8 feet, at least 8 feet?
Yeah, I mean, if it's over 8 feet by a few inches, that'd be great. I mean, I can make 8 feet work, but if you got 8-foot-thick logs, I'll take that, you know?
Yeah, I'll get those nailed out for you today. So let me get to work on that, and I'll call you when I'm done, okay?
All right, can we get those kiln drawn?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, man, appreciate it.
Cool, man. Thank you. Oh, has that been recording forever? So to get the length for this, if you just place the board up on top of your line and come down to your line, bring your square over, so it's about a 1/4 inch away. And if I mark this point right here, which you can't see because the pipe's in the way, I put my square on like this and I mark that point right there, and that'll end up being the long point. So that was the mark that I made. If I square that up right there, and then from there I come down on a 45, it'll be a 1/4 inch away from this pipe. Oh, because you were in 1.5 inches. It was right. Take 1.5 inches off. Now that should fit. Perfect. When I set up my layout for these joists, I found the center of the stud that came out, and the center represents the center of this double. So basically from the end of this I went over 3/4 of an inch, and that put this mark here, and then I just set it ahead. Now from here I can just take my tape measure and go off this and mark all my 16s. Mucho caliente, sí papi, eh? So I'm just going to get my length for those. I'll cut them, nail them together, and then I'll show you when I put them in. So when I nailed these together, I made sure I crowned both boards so they were crowned up, and then when I'm installing them, I'm checking again to make sure that that crown is up. So I'm going to wait to install these two so I can do my plumbing underneath here and get the filter and pump hooked up easier. So pretty much everything that's in this crawl space is finished. I still have to do some rough plumbing. I'll have to add a propane hot water heater, and then I'll have all my wiring done. I have a light switch for the water pump, future water pump. I've got a light under the water tank. That's on its own separate switch. And I've got a light switch for another light which will go right here. And then I also installed 2 outlets just to plug stuff into. But everything's ready to go, but I'm ready to put this floor in. This floor I've been wanting this floor for months. So I cut the last 4 joists. Just gotta crown them, nail them together and put them in. Sometimes when you're crowning boards, you'll get a double crown. So this board crowns up right here, and it crowns down right there on the ends. I know you can't see it, so I don't know why I'm showing it to you, but typically I'll just go with whichever's the bigger crown, and this side is. I'm going to leave my compressor in this spot, and this outlet will stay here until all the wiring's done in the house. So I just drilled a hole right here and I ran the wire up in here. If I need to shut it off, I can just unplug it. Here's my palm nailer to install these hangers again. So this vent pipe is going to be inside of a wall that's going to go right here. So I can cut this circle out right here. I just measured to the side of the pipe on 2 points, made 2 marks, and then I traced it with a scrap piece. And I'm just going to stay outside of that line about 1/8 of an inch, so that'll give me some room to work with. So I measured this piece and I cut it. I made sure that I had a factory edge on this side, so I'll have factory against factory. It'll look nicer. I cut the tongue off of it, and I'm going to give myself an 1/8 inch gap around the outside of the piece of plywood. Now since I took that tongue off, I'm going to measure this piece at 47.5, and I'll snap a line at 47 5/8. So I have added the glue. I'm just going to drop that piece down onto it. How? I don't really know how. Okay. Can you imagine? And it gets right in there. Now I just got to cut out my stairwell and cut these pieces to length. I'll be able to cut most of this with a circular saw, but I'll use a Sawzall to finish the cuts. So I'm a little concerned that my stairwell might be a little bit too wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the plywood 2 inches long on this side, and I'll get a feel for it. If I feel like it's comfortable, then I'll frame out a wall on the inside underneath that 2-inch overhang, and I'll close that down a little bit, just so that it's a little bit easier to flow. And I also thought about doing a 45 on the corner, so it'll just be a little bit better flow up top. So here I'm just going to mark the top where this is. I'll measure off of a fixed point here, 9 1/4, 9 1/4. Measure my depth. Make sure I get no obstructions. 44.5, 34.
Remember I said that I wasn't going to hit my head on those things? Mother, you're dead in 2 seconds. I'm going to kill you. That's violent. You are violent. You should get some help. God, I'm concerned about you. You should become a police officer, because that is psycho.
Yeah, that's way better. Yeah, I'm going to shrink that down for sure. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can follow my build. If you liked the video and felt it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you leave your comments down below letting me know what you thought. And if you'd like to show me some love, click right up there and show your support. Thanks so much for watching, guys. In the next video series, I'll be framing the exposed joist lofted kitchen. How do you like my new shirt? Just picked it up yesterday.